Hello, what is up all of you beautiful subscribers? Welcome back to the Chapple Show. So what we are talking about today is something I like to call the gaming theory of money, business, and entrepreneurship. This is not game theory, by the way. That's a completely different thing in business. This is something I'm going to call the gaming theory of entrepreneurship, business, money, and so on. So what the hell am I talking about? Let's take you back to when you were a kid, okay? And when you played a video game for the very first time. So if you're older than me, maybe you played, whatever, Super Mario for the first time, or Mario for the first time on the arcade. If you're my age, what was the first video game I played? It was like probably some sort of Mortal Kombat or something. Maybe you're a little bit younger than me and your first game was Skyrim. Whatever game that may be, think about it. Okay, I want you to think about the first game you ever played. So let's use Mario as the example here. When you were a kid, the little 6-year-old, and your mom got you this, this Mario game for Christmas and the whatever SNES or whatever system played it. You got so excited, okay? So you plugged it in, you hooked it all up, or you probably got your dad or your mom to do it. And then you plugged it in, you're all set to go, and when you boot up the game, it puts you on level 27 on your first time. It doesn't put you on level 1, it puts you on level 27. What do you think is going to happen to you and your character in that game? You're going to get your ass kicked. You're going to get your ass completely kicked because you've just played this for the first time. The difficulty of level 27 is much higher than level 1. You're facing whatever Donkey Kong. He's chucking all these barrels and fireballs and all this shit at you, and you don't really know what to do. You don't even know how to jump, or you don't even know the controls, even though they're fairly straightforward back then. You don't even know how to play. All right? And so what would happen if you now started off on a tutorial or a level 1? What do you think would happen? Well, that part of the game is much easier. And it usually teaches you what to do. So all of a sudden, Donkey Kong's not chucking everything at you all at once, and the level's not that hard. He's throwing, one barrel at a time, and you can learn you can press all the buttons, and eventually, although there's only 2 buttons, and you can learn how to jump over the barrel. And guess what? Even if you die and it doesn't tell you what to do, you get to try again from the exact same starting position because you're on level 1. So what the hell does this all mean? Let's take you to something like Skyrim, which for those of you that don't know what that is, it's a game you pretty much fight dragons and, you fight a bunch of big bosses and stuff and undead creatures, and it's a mythical game. And, everyone played it. It's an RPG game. And so, when you start off, you have no weapons, you have no items, you haven't leveled up anything. You see this dragon come down from the sky and just kill everything. You cannot do anything to stop this dragon. Okay? So I like using that as an example because the games like that, they kind of are a good example of what it's like to kind of be an entrepreneur. All right, you should never start off with $1 billion company. You should never start off, trying to immediately have this $10 billion or $100 billion idea. You got to start off slow and keep leveling up, like in Skyrim. So you start off at level 1. The maximum is level 99 or whatever the level is. And so this is the example that I like to use. It's that dragon when you are level 1. That thing's you can't even kill it. There's no chance in hell you can kill it, no matter what you have, okay? But slowly over time, guess what you get to do throughout the game? You get to learn new ways. You get to go through different quests and side quests where eventually you get to learn new skills. You get to level up. All of a sudden you can fight a little bit better here. You can move a little bit faster over here. You get a better sword over here. You get a better shield. You get armor over here. And eventually you play this game enough, which a lot of people put in hundreds of hours or thousands of hours into this. Eventually you level up to the point where you can fight that dragon for the first time. You get to climb that mountain for the first time. In the business word, climb the mountain, right? You get to finally face that dragon and actually have a chance. In Mario, this is the same thing. Eventually you learn the patterns. Maybe you're through level 13 right now. You've learned some of the patterns. You know what to do. You can handle certain patterns and jump and time everything completely perfectly. All right, and this is what it's like to be on an entrepreneurship journey. You don't start off with all the skills. You don't start off immediately making this $1 billion company without learning something. Like, here's an example. Everyone thinks that Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook was his first company. No, that was like his fourth company. Didn't he make the Hot or Not app or whatever that was called? He made, some sort of music streaming app. I'm sure he made something else too. And then eventually he used the skills that he learned making those to make a Facebook. And you see that with entrepreneurs all the time. I mean, rarely does someone, hit the jackpot on their first go at a business. You see that very, very rarely here. So, back to that Skyrim example. So maybe you're level 25 and you're facing this dragon for the first time. It's a pretty fair fight. You have enough to potentially kill it if you're skilled enough. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Who really knows? So whatever, you're level 25, you face that dragon, it's a fair fight. What happens if you keep practicing and keep learning new skills along the way? Well, eventually you'll have what happened to my character. You level up enough in the game where you can face a dragon and there's no chance in hell that thing is even going to kill you or even touch your health. And that's what it's like in entrepreneurship. You get to a point where you learn enough skills, you do enough in business, you gather enough resources and assets, and you learn enough things where everything gets a lot easier for you. In Mario, you practice enough, you time everything enough. You can jump over the barrels properly at the perfect second where level 15 isn't even a challenge for you anymore. All right, maybe you get to level 20 or 25 or 27 and maybe that's a little bit of a challenge, but the game gets easier the more you learn how to play it. That's what it's like in business. That is the gaming theory of business. The more you do it, the more you try it, the more you experiment and learn, the easier it is and the better chance you have at succeeding. So again, like that Skyrim example, I love that example. It's like when you start off in the game, you're level 1, you're pantsless, you don't have any fucking clothes, right? And then you face a dragon for the first time, you see it for the first time, you're like, oh, god damn, this thing's scary. And then you play it for, 100 hours, 200 hours, 500 hours, whatever that may be. You go face it, you're all pimped out in all this freaking, whatever, dragon Daedra armor or whatever the hell you have. You're summoning all these freaking ghosts to fight for you, an army to fight for you. You got freaking swords, and you can kill the thing easily. Easily. And that's what it's like in business. I mean, for me, when I started, even 4 or 5 years ago, do you think that I had all the skills that I do now? No. I mean, 3 weeks ago, I didn't even know how to read a line of code. And now I've already got a payment processing system up on my site because I'm going hard into that. You got to learn new skills along the way. Do you think that this speaking thing, me talking to you, me talking on YouTube, me talking to whoever, people I work with, talking to people who ever come in here, rent out, place in here, and event spaces and stuff and so on. I couldn't even talk to anyone when I was 17. I didn't even talk to a girl really until I was 14, 15 years old. That's a skill you have to develop. I was the quietest kid in high school. I don't know if you guys would know this. I think I've told this story before about how in grade 9, there would be literally days where I would not open my mouth and say anything. I wouldn't say anything to my parents, siblings, friends, didn't really have many friends. I had some in grade 9. Then I got more in grade 10, but what I'm trying to say here is that I couldn't talk. There would be days where I would say something for the first time, I'd be like, oh, I haven't said anything in a few days here. It was like stretching my vocal cords. And when I would talk, I'd talk like something like this, and I'd be really shy and looking down all the time. This is a skill I developed. Talking is a skill I developed. Communication, skill I developed. Building websites, something I've developed. Writing code, something I'm developing. Selling, something I've developed. All of these things, marketing, design, editing, freaking videos and all that, all those skills that an entrepreneur has, they're developed over time. You don't just start on level 27 where you're a master at everything and you jump into this masterclass billion-dollar business idea that you have. No, you gotta hit a bunch of singles. Again, this is going back to a video I made last week. Would you rather hit singles or home runs? I think that you have to hit those singles first before you hit those home runs. I mean, Jeff Bezos, he knew how to code. He learned business. He worked on Wall Street for a little bit before he even started Amazon. He had that business skill and that technical skill before he started Amazon. All right? And so that's what you got to do. You got to learn new skills along the way to conquer that dragon, to build a good business, to kill Bowser or Donkey Kong in the first one, right? That's what you guys have to do. So that is that's what I wanted to really talk about today. The gaming theory of business, entrepreneurship, and money in general. You have to learn, you have to keep learning. You won't just be a magical overnight success. That doesn't happen. You got to learn skills along the way. And eventually, here's the thing too, once you learn those skills, for me, people ask me why are you learning how to code your site when you can pay someone, whatever, thousands of dollars to do it for you? I was like this, well, if I learn how to code, everything gets easier for me. If I want to try another business, if this one fails, that's going to get a lot easier for me. If I learn how to code, I can make another website or another app and I can code it myself. That's going to become a lot easier for me. I can, learning new skills make things a lot easier. So for example, like Elon Musk, his first go around, he built a $20 million business. And then his next go around, it was $300 million, right? And then his next go around, was Tesla next? No, I think SpaceX was next, actually. SpaceX, $6 billion or $10 billion right now. Then the next go around, Tesla, $60 billion right now. Right, and so on. You got to take those steps. And I'm sure that Musk, I think that he had a story where he was selling stuff in South Africa or wherever he lived at the time as a kid. And what I'm trying to say here is that it's slow progress, okay? It's slow progress and you gotta keep learning things, learn new skills. That is the way you succeed in life. All right, that's how you do it. So I'm not gonna keep this video too long here. I think that, more than 10 minutes is more than enough. I thought it was gonna be like a 2-minute video, but I had more to talk about. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching. If you like videos like this, you're gonna like the Wealth Accelerator, so you can check the link in the description down below, and I have 16 hours of videos on that program alone. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching. You're all very beautiful people, and I'll see you guys in the next video.